Welcome back. Today, we are stepping beyond legend into archaeology, chemistry, and the unstable geopolitics of the Iron Age. Imagine the bitter taste of honeyed wine and the heavy steam of a funerary feast as a kingdom balances on the edge of collapse. Midas was a ruler of Phrygia in the late 8th century BCE, governing from the capital at Gordion during a time of expanding trade and rising imperial pressures. Greek tradition later transformed him into legend. A king granted a wish by Dionysus, who asked that everything he touched turn to gold, only to discover that wealth without restraint can become a curse. But what if the real story was not about magic at all? What if the truth behind Midas's kingdom is far more human, far more fragile? What if the real curse was never gold at all? Let us uncover it together. King Midas was not living inside a golden dream. He ruled in a volatile world of shifting alliances, expanding empires, and fragile borders. We are exhaling the dust of ancient Anatolia to uncover what archaeology, not myth, has preserved. Archaeologists opened a 2,700-year-old secret inside the Great Tumulus at Gordion in 1957. What they found was not piles of gold. It was timber, bronze vessels, textiles, human remains, and microscopic chemical traces sealed for nearly 3 millennia. By analyzing organic residues inside massive cauldrons, researchers reconstructed the final royal banquet of the ruler, buried there, widely associated with the dynasty of Midas. This was not a fairy tale discovery. It was data, the mythic facade, and the Iron Age reality. The Greek story is familiar. A golden touch. Food turned to metal. Love turned to lifeless shine. Phrygia was not a fantasy kingdom. It controlled trade routes across central Anatolia. It possessed mineral resources. It negotiated with and feared expanding imperial powers. The gold of the myth likely reflected real regional wealth and Greek attempts to metaphorize foreign prosperity. The tomb chamber, built of massive timbers, contained the body of an elderly elite male laid on a textile-covered bier. No magical curse, just the architecture of power, the molecular archaeology of a royal menu. Around the body stood enormous bronze cauldrons and serving vessels. For decades, they were museum objects. Then chemistry began to speak. Residue analysis revealed a fermented beverage made from grape wine, barley beer, and honey mead, a complex hybrid drink sometimes nicknamed by researchers the Midas drink. Sweet, alcoholic, ceremonial. Animal bone analysis showed a feast centered on goat and sheep, cut, stewed, and served in large quantities. The lipid residues suggest a rich, fat-heavy preparation. Elite food. Communal consumption. This was not symbolic abstraction. It was a real menu, preserved at the molecular level for 2,700 years. The bitter edge of geopolitics. The feast was lavish, but its historical context was unstable. The late 8th century BC, he saw mounting pressure from Assyria. Cimmerian groups moved through Anatolia. Regional power structures were shifting. Within decades, Phrygian dominance would falter. The banquet in the tomb was almost certainly funerary, a ritual meal marking transition, memory, and legitimacy. But funerary rituals also assert continuity. They say, power remains, order continues, the dynasty stands, even when the horizon suggests otherwise. The bronze vessels gleamed, the alcohol flowed, the meat was abundant. Beyond the ceremony lay uncertainty. Reframing the golden curse, the golden touch is myth, but the psychological weight of rulership is not. If the tomb occupant was Midas, or a close predecessor within his line, he ruled during a period of extraordinary external pressure. Greek tradition later reports that Midas ended his life by drinking bull's blood. Whether literal or symbolic, the story reflects collapse, not magical punishment, political defeat. In that light, the curse transforms. It is not the tragedy of turning bread into gold. It is the burden of possessing wealth without guaranteeing survival. Gold cannot stop migration. It cannot halt imperial expansion. It cannot reverse military loss. The irony is historical, not supernatural. Legacy in timber and dust. The wooden chamber in the Great Tumulus preserved more than a body. It preserved a moment of peak Phrygian identity. The chemical profile of the feast changed how scholars understand ancient hospitality. Feasts were not decorative excess. They were political language. They were declarations of stability. They were edible statements of hierarchy and continuity. And yet, Phrygia's regional dominance did not endure. Trade systems shift. Resource control fluctuates. Strategic advantage fades. What once seemed permanent becomes archaeological. In the darkness beneath Gordion, the ruler long associated with Midas rests without legend. History did not preserve his touch. It preserved his feast. Power can be immense. Wealth can be visible. Ritual can be magnificent. And none of it guarantees permanence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration of King Midas, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a story hidden beneath the dust of history.